Hello, welcome back to Social Club. Gareth Southgate's been interviewed ahead of the current international break, and he's delivered quite a damning assessment of where England are as a football team and as a nation in some regards, and the way that they're perceived. I'll start off with a quote actually before we get stuck into it, because I'll be honest, I don't care. I'll be one way or the other really, but I wasn't wowed with the Southgate appointment. I think most people will probably feel similarly. But having read this, I think it's very interesting whether it means anything or not. He says, I think we've got to broaden... In fact, he said, I always say being an island saved us in 1945. I'm not so sure it's helped us ever since. I think we've got to broaden the horizon. It's understandable. The lads see one league, they see Sky Sports News, then they think they're the centre of the earth, and we're not. That's what hit me at the 2014 World Cup. I'm so used to watching the yellow ticker going round, then I'm sat in Brazil, and I'm not seeing us. It was a quite stark reality of where we are. Other countries quite happy to say nice things about us, and then pack us off home at a certain stage and think, God, we got rid of them. That's how it feels to me, and I don't like it. And I think, Ped, I'm interested to get your thoughts on it, because I know you have a very similar stance to me on the whole England thing, but it kind of like, I hear him say that, and I think that's how I've felt about it for a long time. I think England get put up on a pedestal, and people think that because they won the World Cup in 1966, and don't get me wrong, listen, I talk a lot about the past. I'm a Liverpool fan. I know what it's like to talk about past glories and what have you. People talk about like it means something. It's the star on the badge, as though it's somehow it's a badge. Like England automatically deserve to be whatever. England are what they are, and they're not a world superpower. And it always shocked me. I remember Ian Rush saying it years ago, as a Welshman, saying, "Why do England largely get where they are seeded to get?" So they are seeded to get out of the groups of a major tournament and go out. And if they go any round further than that, they are excelling compared to their seeding. So why do England get so shocked by it? And I think Southgate's right
well, number one,
to highlight this.
The Daily Mail are going to fucking hate him, man.
Absolutely.
For those
Great.
comments.
Well, that makes me like him even more.
They're going to absolutely hate him. He's right, and I think we've discussed this before about the managers not going out and testing themselves abroad and being sort of very one-dimensional how we play the game, because we aren't seeing the other avenues of the way football's played or anything. And he is right, because players, they stay here. The Premier League love that. Again, the Premier League won't like these things. We're all very insular. And Bale said it in the summer, didn't he? He was just laughing about England players going... Because, again, it's like how he was in the Euros, he was so relaxed. Now the Welsh camp was so relaxed. And every time an England player go in front of an interview, it was like, yeah, I'm dead happy to be here and all this. And it's that whole perception of England. It's so tight. Yeah. And they can never... They've given themselves, and I don't know where they come from, like you said, they've given themselves these high expectations that they have to meet. Now, I don't know whether that's our media. I don't know who it is. But maybe if we had some of these players playing abroad, they'd get a better idea of that we're not the sense of the football world.
Well, I think it comes back to, I think it's at England's core, isn't it? And it's hilarious because, you know, the organisation that he works for is largely responsible for all of these problems, and then it extends to the Premier League. But, you know, he talks about exactly what Ped's saying there, about players need to get out, they need to experience more of world football. And this is the thing, isn't it? England has this notion of it being, because of the Premier League, because the Premier League is the richest league and the biggest league, yada, 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 that somehow it can't be bettered. Whereas England needs to become detached from the Premier League in some regards. It's because it's two completely different things.
Yeah, and what I like, he says there, he's got an understanding of the maturity that these players need to start to have. And like you talk about the Welsh squad, because they might have been on loan down at Yeovil or even been playing in a championship team. It's like, that's the real world. Or Leicester last year. They're men who've been sort of through the leagues and know when adversity as well as when it's going your way. And I think that's the same for any team when you want to actually achieve something. I also think the fear that the England squad has when it gets to a major tournament is as much to do with the media and us as fans sometimes, as well as the players. I think the sort of concoction of all three makes us have an England squad that's got a bit of a lack of personality at times, and so I think he's bang on there. Yeah. I also think England's a bit like an Arsenal in terms of they kind of like, well, we won something once, and we kind of, we've got all these good players, so we should be good because 2 + 2 = 4, and it doesn't work like that. And you've got to get behind whatever regime it is for it to be successful, and that's something that England hasn't had. I've been waiting for the scapegoat.
From the outside looking in, Liam, because obviously you give less of a fuck about England than we do.
Not a monkeys.
It'd be interesting to know your perception of the England national team.
I think the England national team don't perform because of expectation. The expectation comes from the press especially. See, unless England go and win the World Cup 10-0, every game, they're shit. Every one of the players are shit. And you're talking about, Hodgson's international background was through many different leagues across a vast array of decades. You know what I mean? It's not like he didn't have any experience. He had experience with some top players as well. So to say that your manager you're employing doesn't have any experience, I don't agree with that. Also, all these players that you have playing for the England team are playing Champions League. Not all of them, obviously.
Yeah, but
a vast majority of them are playing Champions League every week.
I don't think that's the same thing as living abroad, playing in a league.
But you test yourself against the better
but
players.
You're not though, are you? Because you're testing yourself in the safe environment every single week.
Why is it a safe environment?
Because it is, isn't it? It's the Champions. No matter what you say, it's sanitised. Imagine you playing in Italy. Fucking hell, somebody's seen this from the stadiums in Italy. The fucking dog rough. You've got to indulge.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but you've got to. Right though. It's more about like the personal development of going to another country.
People say travel broadens the mind. It's the same in football world. You go and see different cultures and see how different football's played every week, and having to learn that different language and having to engage with different people instead of being. The England team. Biggest problem with the England team is they're all very much the same kind of players. And most of them are average. So I look at someone like Lallana, I'm not just picking him out. To me, he's just an everyday Premier League decent player. And then suddenly he plays for England, and it's like, oh, it's Adam Lallana. You think, oh, he's all right. He's
that's the media. That's the expectation.
But everyone else falls into the top. So you've got 11 of them, right? And then you've got someone like Wales who go, we've got this fucking shit-off player, right, called Gareth Bale, and we're all prepared to work our bollocks off to just get him the ball. Yeah. And that's what a lot of...
But Wales have no pressure. Wales go in.
You're right on the pressure thing.
What I mean is,
though... every game, and they weren't expected to win.
What I mean is, though...
If you're not expected to win, there's no pressure to win.
But that's the two different things. I'm not talking about pressure. What I'm talking about is, they have a system that works, right? We've done this for years.
All of England's players are told that they're amazing, so they all go out there thinking they're the absolute bollocks. And that's the problem with England is
no one makes any tough decisions.
But exactly the way that the FA, because when the FA down the managers, so you've either got these chest thumping morons who come out and go, we're England, we will go out and we will fight and we will prove our way. No, you're not that good. Or you've got Roy Hodgson on the other end who's going, well, no, everyone downplay your expectations.
But of course he's trying to downplay it he doesn't want the players to have that kind of...
Roy Hodgson at least was honest in, saying, don't have an expectation because England aren't that good. The problem is at least Southgate's actually explaining to people why that is for a change, which I think, whether it works, I don't think he's going to have I'm not sure he will have the power to change this.
I personally think he's making excuses before it happens.
No, I don't think this is excuses.
That's his job. His job is to motivate the players. That's his job.
I'm sorry, Liam, but what needs to change in England is fundamentally at its core, something needs to be reevaluated by how England is set up and how the players are brought up and all this kind of stuff, like Germany did after 2006. It was a travesty, and they ripped up the book and they started again. And Gareth Southgate at least appreciates that. And if he's I value his honesty. I don't think he'll be able to do anything about it.
I think what you got to look at as well, like we've just said, is that we tell all our players they're all amazing when they're not all amazing at all. Yeah. So when you get to England, and we've had this problem for years about playing Scholes in the wrong position, and playing Lampard and playing Gerrard, and no, build a fucking team that works, and stop telling everyone that they're worth as much as each other. They're not. Yeah. When Wayne Rooney was at his pomp, he was the best player. Now, when Gerrard was at his pomp, he was the best player. Stop telling everyone that fucking Walcott's great or this player's great. Say, he's great, and you all work your arse off to get him the ball.
I think the issue was, though, you're talking about, though, you couldn't really... You can't pigeonhole Gerrard and Lampard and Scholes about who's a better player. That conversation's going on now, and
but it's not about who's the best player.
It's a similar problem. Brazil had this problem back in 2000, around between 2006 odd, where they had Ronaldinho, they still had Ronaldo, and they had Robinho and Kaká, and they were all the main men at the respective clubs, and that team was, did okay, but you could see them taking the pitch, and they're going, no, I'm the guy you pass the ball to, and they're going, no, I'm the guy you pass the ball to, and unless you've got to have the team ethic first, and I agree with that and the England thing, and that's where I don't know. I think it's 2 points we're trying to make here. I think in a general sense, getting back to it, I think there needs to be a a more frank assessment of where England are, because I think the biggest fundamental problem is it comes back to expectation from people looking in and going, if you're getting told, we're getting told these are the best players in the world.
Who's telling
we're
you?
getting
I don't know
told
where this has come from. We both said this now. We're telling them that they're the best. Who's saying that?
Because
No, I think it's a
British
difference. There's
media.
a difference because well, the thing is, there's so much spotlight on the Premier League, huge, right? Then when the Premier League goes away, all these English writers, they have to go. The spotlight then gets on England, not good or bad.
I disagree with that,
saying they're
because
amazing.
if you look at Ireland, either Ireland team, Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland in the recent competition, both of them outperformed, and all their players are based in England. All of them.
No, but the
abroad.
English press.
Sorry, go on, Jay.
The English press they're not concerned with Northern Ireland, with all due respect. They're concerned with England.
But
Each
each country's press are concerned with their own nation. But I think the way, in answer to what you're saying, we're being told, everyone's being told the Premier League is the best league.
Yeah.
And if you're playing in a team in the Premier League, there's a stature and status that comes with that. Yeah. And then if you're the main man for your team in the Premier League, and you've got the adulation of thousands, you've got 40,000, 50,000 people who think you are the fucking best thing in the world, and you've got people queuing up to shake your hand and take your selfies and suck you off and whatever, and then you come to England and you're thinking like you walk in thinking you're brilliant, and then there's this thing of like, because every time a major tournament comes around, it's like, yeah, England, and in the interim, they're playing these qualifying games against teams who are not fit to lace the boots. Yeah. So they're coming into the win on these games and go, look how well we qualified. You played a bunch of
what it is?
It's false. It's a false sense of self-worth and righteousness that comes with it.
They live in a bubble.
Yeah.
And if you lived abroad, then you wouldn't be in that bubble. If you had to play abroad, if you were the only English person in that team, and some of the players might speak English, but if you're forced to learn a different language, if you're forced to live a different way, eat different food, go to different places, suddenly you might get a better outlook. And that's why I think the likes of Ireland and Wales because they have to fight their way up.
I completely agree with that.
We get people like Sterling and we go, is it? Take everything. And then you go, oh, no, he's fucking shit him. Because actually, he mightn't have been that good in the first place, but because you hyped him up so fucking much in the first place.
Only because he's English.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
saying. Wouldn't have cost 50 million.
John Stones wouldn't have cost
exactly.
But they're not because they're English.
Because
England are not a massive
major
country.
footballing country.
Who is?
Are you saying England aren't a major footballing country? I know we've not done.
England are. Well, yeah. Again, let's go back to seedings though. This is the point. England are always in the top 10 of the FIFA rankings.
So that's a major country, isn't it?
Yeah. But the point is that England have the expectation of being the best, and England will never be the best until either they get a manager in who is able to engineer something in a major tournament, or there's a complete frank overhaul of what they're doing.
This is my point where I feel like it's a bit like Arsenal, is that people are only going to give the England setup and the England team a break once they win something. How are you supposed to create any kind of momentum?
I agree with
if
that.
you don't just give them a break and go, oh wow, they have won 10 out of 10. Well done, lads. No, but
you're 10 out of 10 against nobody.
No, I know that, but I mean, how are England ever supposed to get any momentum then?
It's one of two though. You either
go to a tournament and win.
Exactly. You either go to a tournament and win, or everyone takes a massive step back, and it's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy bit, where there's a machine that it shows you your place in the universe, and you see yourself as you're not even a grain of sand on a beach of how insignificant you are. And I'm not saying England are insignificant, but everyone could just do with looking back and going, because you go abroad, if these players all got to go abroad and look back in and look at how England's perceived, instead of being in this insular bubble where you're told you're fucking amazing, everyone would go, you know what, instead of thinking I'll just go and graft, I'll just go and fight, you know what I mean? And England shouldn't go in thinking that Brazil, which keeps happening, or Spain, or whatever, they should be England. We should just play like a champion. No, yeah, exactly. But why don't England go? No, but why don't England go to major tournaments with the attitude that Wales went to that major tournament with? Because they believe they're owed a semi-final place because they got to the semi-finals.
Do you know? I don't know. I actually think it's back to the original point that Southgate's making, is that when Wales went 1-0 down against Belgium in a game that they weren't supposed to win anyway, and they're 1-0 down, they rolled up their sleeves and went, right, let's keep the ball for a bit and get away through that. That's what England plays in terms of their maturity.
We've missed a massive point, though. We've missed a massive point in all this. Is that he's just given them permission to go and play abroad, because how many managers have we had? And we have it in, it's this...
Yeah, stay in England because you've got a better chance of being in the manager's eyes.
Dickheads, the insular knobheads. They do the
Yeah,
same
double the
thing.
amount of money to stay.
We
in
will
England.
not pick you if you leave this country.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Gareth Southgate just give permission to players who might have feared, who might have had chances to move abroad and felt like that their England place would be under.
Yeah.
He's just give them permission now and he's just said, listen
And
lads,
no, that's
We haven't
brilliant.
got enough.
Yeah.
We haven't
He has,
got enough
though, he's
players.
just said
No,
that.
well, that's brilliant. And like I say, I hope that Gareth Southgate can be a strong enough character because ultimately he's got to balance this while he's also got to win some football matches at the same time, which is all that he's ever going to be remembered
Yeah.
on, unfortunately. And I hope, and look, he's a guy with vision. He's an intelligent man.
And he's passionate as well,
And he's
which I
very
like.
passionate about what he does. I want to care. I would like to care more about England, but it's the self-righteousness, and I've got enough of it in my life as it is. Like, you know what I mean? But it would
Paul
be,
Machen's England channel.
yeah. I used to enjoy England as a kid. I'd love to get back to that, but it is
Guaranteed kitchen at the end of every
no, but it's then.
Tell you what,
But it no. I
told you the fan cam.
No, it's it. I used to do England reactions in tournaments years and years, when we first started out years and
Just
years
winding
ago.
it up.
I know it was great. No, the views you got on that was outstanding. But that's the thing about it. It would be lovely to get back to that to get back to a world with England, go and be England, for what's
Hey.
trying to be someone mega like.
If you listen to the government, we're going to dominate the world soon.
No, absolutely.
Can't wait.
Well, we won't be allowed into the Euros, will we? Because you know what I mean. They'll be going, hang on a second.
Where's your visa?
Says here.
We'll be back to the home nations tournaments again and dominating the Scottish. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on that. Gareth Southgate, does he have the power?
They'll be playing the
Or
Euros. They'll have fucked
Oh,
up.
yeah. Let us know your thoughts on that. Is Gareth Southgate the man to be able to fix things? And is this having this kind of attitude, do you think that could be a positive base for something for England to change perceptions on? Let us know in the comments below. Still to come later this week. Tune in tomorrow. That's Tuesday if you're watching it on Monday. We've got Ask the Club. We're answering your
Typical.
questions. And then later on the week, we're going to be continuing with our greatest Premier League 11 of all time series. I've got genuinely no idea where we're up to.
Attacking
mids?
midfielders.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a big one.
That
It's
will
the
be
big
fun.
one.
It's a massive one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
stay
yeah.
tuned for that. Subscribe by clicking the Ball Street logo and you'll get that content first.